Hey guys, this is Vicky with Southern Cross Recreations. Do you remember this sign that I got at Dollar Tree? I could not wait to make it over. I love the actual vintage paper that it was like printed on. It had like all these little different words and things on there. Absolutely loved it. It was kind of tea stained. So I went ahead and tried to get this little cardboard piece off. Now it did rip it a little bit, but no worries. I knew I was going to cover it. And so I did take a little bit of Mod Podge and where it had ripped and kind of pushed it back down. I knew I was going to cover that, so I wasn't really concerned. Okay, so I grabbed me some plaster paint from Waverly. And then you're going to take some baking soda and put it down. I've done this technique before, but I knew I was going to do this on this because I just thought it'd be so cute and give it a lot of texture since this was just a flat piece of, a sign. It was just flat. Okay, so the first thing, when you use paint and baking soda together, you're going to have to spritz some water into your paint to thin it out a little bit in order to get the baking soda to kind of get that textury and for it to mix. If you just try to use paint and baking soda together, it's super thick. It just will not cover as well. So add you some water and paint and baking soda. Okay, so there I went ahead and covered part of that. And again, it will be all covered once we get this all complete. And then I was trying to determine how far I wanted his stem to come down. And so you'll kind of see me measure that here in just a minute. But I did not want a pumpkin face on this. I knew I was going to be able to use this for, for fall and all the way into before Christmas. So this was something that I knew I was going to cover. It does take a little bit to cover. I did have to go back. Once it completely dried overnight, I noticed that some of the black was kind of showing through. So I did go back and cover that up, and you'll see it in the finished product. Okay, so just follow your lines for the entire pumpkin. But y'all, look how pretty. You could even leave it like this with some of that black showing through. But I wanted this to be super neutral, and so I went back and kind of covered it up a little bit more. There's where I tried to measure my stem. I ended up not using that stem. It was just going to be a hard task to kind of get it on there, but I'll show you a really cute stem that I did out of twine. Okay, so you see some of the black, and then on camera, I did not notice this until I went back to edit this video. You can actually still see his face. So I thought that was so funny because when I was doing it, you cannot see it, but on camera looking straight down, you could definitely tell there's a face on this pumpkin. So I did go back and fix that, and all I did was remix some paint, some water, and some baking soda and touched up those areas. And you'll notice at the end of the video, you won't see that face. Now on that little moth there was a skull. And I wanted to cover him up because, again, I did not want to use this, just for Halloween. I wanted to use it through fall. And so I just took some black paint and I just kind of made him some dots, kind of how you see on a moth. Okay. The next step is what sets this pumpkin off. I love the texture. I love the baking soda, making it super fluffy, but also the twine just gives it that extra over the top. So what you're going to do is I took some fabric bonding. That is over. I get questions about that. So let me help you try to explain where it is. It's in the crafts section. You can get it at Walmart, but it's called fabric bonding. It's not a super glue or a hot glue. It kind of adheres to fabric. And the reason I'm using this for the twine is because my glue gun is super hot, and it's also, the hole on it is pretty thick. And so I didn't want my glue to show, underneath the twine because my twine is pretty thin. And so make sure that you use either a really super fine hot glue gun or you can use this fabric bonder. And it comes in a set. It comes with the glue gun, the fabric bonder gun, and it also comes with the sticks as well. I think it was like under $20 for the whole thing. Okay. How cute is this coming out, y'all? And it just makes me smile to see that little pumpkin face trying to come through this baking soda. I thought it was too funny. Okay, so what you're going to do is where your little curves are at the bottom, just think about a pumpkin. Normally those kind of follow the curvatures at the bottom of the pumpkin, and that's kind of what you're looking for. And so when you're putting your twine on, just kind of curve it around just like you would normally see on a pumpkin. And so that's what you kind of do. And I always did it at the top and went down. You can go backwards if you choose. I just kind of felt like once I cut it at the bottom, it just kind of worked better. Okay, I love this rusty wire. I did get it on Amazon. If you are interested in it, just message me links and I will get you the links of the things that I used for this, which would be including this rusty wire and my sander. And so the little hand sander. And so if you want the links to any of these, just message me link. If you want supplies, just message supplies and I'll give you the full list of how I did this, including paint color and all of that. But all you're going to do in order to get the little curlies on a pumpkin is you're just going to wrap it around a paintbrush. Now you can go as big of these as long as, this is kind of personal preference. Mine wasn't a little bit, it was too curly. I mean, it wasn't curly enough for me, so I went ahead and wrapped it again. And then you just choose where you want them to go. But this rusty wire, y'all, I absolutely love it. And you get 2 of these spools for, it's super cheap. So, and they last forever. I use it on a lot of different things. Okay, so here is where I'm going to do the stem. I wanted to either use something that was very neutral. I tried a stick. I tried that little, it was actually off of a little shelf. I tried that. It wasn't working for me. So I thought I'm just going to do a curly Q little stem out of twine. And so you'll notice what I'm doing is I put some hot glue. Now you will need your finger protectors, and I use a barbecue skewer. Y'all know that follow me for any length of time. Those are like a staple in my craft supplies. But what you're going to do is you're going to put some hot glue, and then all you're doing is making it a loop. And you're just going to follow the outline that's already printed on the sign. And that's literally all you're doing. And it takes just a minute just to kind of get it pushed in there. And again, I'll show you a little bit closer up. How cute is this? And you just continue to go up that stem. And then once you get to the top, you're just going to cut it and then just poke the edge of that twine back down into the stem. Could not be easier, and I think it came out really super cute. And it ties in with also the pieces that we used on the pumpkin. But I do want to take a minute. Thank you so much for being on my page. You guys are awesome for passing them down the road, which means sharing my videos. Thank you for liking and all the sweet comments. And again, I try very, very hard to answer everyone. It does get a little bit consuming sometimes. But if I have missed you and you have in need of some type of supply or questions about anything, you can always private message. But just when you private message, just make sure you say, hey, I want the supplies for the Dollar Tree pumpkin that you just did, which is this one. Or, hey, I want the supplies to whatever, and just kind of name it. And that helps me get to you a lot quicker, so I don't have to go back and try to find out which video you're commenting on. So I hope that helps. And again, I try to answer everyone because, you guys are all important to me, and I hate to miss anyone, but sometimes that does happen. Okay, so as we go along here, this is where I was telling you that you're just going to take the edge of it and you're just going to poke it back down into the stem. And I love how this come out. I hope you guys love it too. And to take a Dollar Tree sign and just upcycle it and make it your own is just, I just think it's super fun and cute. Okay, and it still cracks me up that you can see his face still. But like I said, when I was doing this, I absolutely did not see it at the angle that I was. You guys are looking straight down, and so you could definitely see him trying to poke through and smile through all of that. So, but I do go back and fix that. Okay, then you're going to hot glue that last little curly wire in there. And then once you get that done, we're going to make a tag for him. Grab your paper towel rolls. If you do not save these, make sure you do. Every time you have a paper towel roll, you have numerous tags that you can craft out of. And so all you're going to do is make sure you cut in between that, there's glue inside, and you can see where they've overlapped that cardboard to make the roll. Just cut that away and use the inner parts. And then all you're going to do is do a hole punch and poke it in there. Y'all know I love my alphabet stamps. I got these on Amazon. Again, if you want the link for that, just message me links and I'll get those for you. And then all I did was do Hello Pumpkin. Now you could, use your imagination. You can use whatever stamp, whatever kind of saying that you want to on there. But this is just kind of something that I came up with. Now, what you're going to do also, what I like to do, I like to make my tags look like they're dirty and old. That's just my style, more of the vintage kind of, antique style. But definitely you don't have to use that step. But if you do want that little ink pad, it is at Dollar Tree. So you can find that and the finger protectors at Dollar Tree, the little pink finger protectors that I was using. Okay, then I'm going to take the same twine, put it through the hole, pull it down, and then we're going to measure where we're going to put the tag. This is kind of how I did it. Now again, I'm just here to inspire you. You can place it wherever you choose to, but these are all things that are pretty much staples of your craft supplies. And so once you have your staples, your creativity can just go wild. And so basically you go to Dollar Tree, this is the sign, and then you just take it from there. Okay, then I took some of this muslin and fabric. I did get that at Hobby Lobby. I just got a yard of it. Normally I get a yard at a time. I just cut it a little bit and then, just rip the fabric. I love the frayed edges. And then once you can do thinner one like I did there or thicker ones, whichever. I did 2 thicker ones and 1 thinner one. And all you do is you cut it initially smaller. And then all you're going to do is fold those kind of like you would your shoelaces, when you were taught how to do the little rabbit ears. That's kind of what you're going to do. And then you're going to take one of your other pieces and you're going to tie it directly in the middle and tie it tight. And now you've got a super cute, just kind of a ragged bow for your project. And you could pretty much, there's not all fabrics will rip really well, but the muslin fabric I love because it does do that. But how cute is this little bow on there, y'all? Okay, I told you wouldn't see the top of where it ripped or anything like that, and you won't be once we get everything complete. And then you're just going to tie your little bow and then just adjust it however. Now, I went back and I trimmed up my bow just a little bit because it was hiding some of my twine. I went ahead and just, I call them dog-eared, but you just kind of cut them at the angle like that just to kind of give it more of a finished look. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I want to lighten that frame a little bit. It's too dark for what I like. And so I just took a chip brush and that same plaster paint, took most of the excess of the paint off on a paper towel, and then just went right over the frame. We're not done with it yet, so we're going to go back and do a couple more little things to it. But that just tones that black down a little bit. I really wish I could tone down that little moth. But the more I got to thinking about it, the more the wording is all included in that little moth, and I knew it would just mess it up. So I just kind of left him. Now, if you don't like the moth on there, you can go back and put some of that moss there and just cover them completely up. Okay, which I did think about. Okay, so this is a little hand sander, and you're gonna just rough the edges up. And then once you get that rough, look how that just kind of tones all of that black down and gives it that little kind of old vintage vibe. And again, this little sander came from Amazon. I absolutely love it, use it all the time. And I just wiped off the excess, but look how it just kind of makes it look like it's been around for a while. Okay, here's that Spanish moss. Now I did seriously think about covering up that little moth, and I may go back and just do that whole corner with the moss, but for now we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit at the top. I did not like how my tag was showing, the little twine was showing right there. I didn't want a whole lot because I didn't want to take away from the pumpkin, so I just kind of pushed it up underneath the bow there and just had it peeking out from underneath the bow and the tag, and I thought that came out super cute. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you message me links if you want any links or supplies. And again, thank you for passing it down the road for me, which means share, like, and comment. And for more, you can also visit southerncrossrcreations.com and on YouTube, and those are all organized over there. See you next time.